Hey, GetFox here. Today I'm going to do a video on what I think they should do going forward in MUT 18. If you saw my last video on what I like and dislike about MUT 18 so far, good. Thanks for watching, guy. This video builds on that one, so you might want to check out that one first. I'll link it down below in the description. And any of the EA guys, if they're out there and you'd rather read than listen to my shrill voice go through this content, I'll put the script on my website and link it below like I used to do with many more videos. Off the bat, it's crazy the amount of suggestions I've had in old videos that have made it to the actual game of Madden. Outside of the standard glitches and balance needs that I and many others have mentioned, in past videos I've asked them to add draft champions, salary cap, objectives for yards, ID the mic, a casual MUT head-to-head mode, which they ended up removing from the game after having it in 17, and many others. Just go back and watch my old suggestion videos for those. It's kind of neat actually seeing. So we know they're listening to the community's feedback, which is really nice, and hopefully they continue that going forward. But onto the suggestions and ideas for things they can do. Give us something to do in-game outside of grinding solos and head-to-head. Remember when we couldn't make throwback packs or random packs through the trade-in sets? We got flashback packs now, but there are only a dozen or so players in there, and they constantly raise the price of them as the player prices decrease. What I mean is that they raise the price of the elite badges. But moving forward, for examples of things to do outside of grinding solos and head-to-head, look at what MLB The Show did with their Conquest mode. It's a part of their solo grind, but it's not 100% focused on baseball. It's a game of Risk mixed with baseball. Very innovative on their part. Now, don't copy that exactly, but I think Madden needs something similar to that. I've suggested in the past a card game with binders and the cards we have in it, some sort of 5-on-1 where you and your opponent / the computer could play out cards, and whoever's the last card to get to 5-1 without it going over win. Maybe a blackjack or poker clone. I can think of 10 card games off the top of my head with varying depth to put into the game of MUT, and it doesn't necessarily have to be just card games. You can mix in other game elements to help flesh out the depth of MUT. But we'll get more into that going forward. I think quick sell sets need to make a comeback. Gold and silver masters were really nice. Something new to drive up the price of the pack trash is needed. Look at what other YouTubers are doing that get good views and try to incorporate it into your game. I think the obvious choice is to put a spin the wheel type of pack in the game where you buy a roll of the wheel and it has various options on the wheel from players to packs to coins. So then whatever it lands on, that wheel lands on, you get. Similar packs like this were in the game in the past and they were decent. You just needed the wheel animation to make it cooler for these packs and then have them, you know, those like one spot out of, I don't know what, the 20 or 30 could be like 90 Antonio Brown. Or something similar to that. It could be random. And then other ones could be like, I don't know, 5,000 coins for like the low-end prizes, and so on and so forth. But another thing that's pretty big on YouTube is trivia. A trivia mini game would be nice. Like, look at Muthead's trivia game for inspiration on something to do. Not necessarily those questions, but Muthead also has raffles and is currently having pick'ems that are fun to enter for some. But I guess the pick'ems are similar to your predictor set, so you kind of had that covered. But there's more that you can do with that. But I will say Madden 15's coin up promotion, where you could sell the bets, was far superior to our predictors just because of the fact that you can go all in on one. It was kind of fun watching somebody risk their entire coin stack on one coin up. Moving on, how about some loading screen flavor, like something as stupid as watching your cards versus your opponent's cards, or vibrate on a visual representation of the old electronic game as a loading screen? I think it'd be cool to see a nice little change from the static image we get now. Like you can do a lot with the loading screens, really. But a mini game, how about going forward? Just try to throw cards into a hat, something like that. If you get a card in the hat, you get a reward, like an elite player pack or something. The game needs to be tough to automate, I think, because like with the PS Pro, that mobile thing, not the Pro, but whatever I don't know, I have an Xbox that you can get a computer to do it. But so, and then like say any of those cards that you miss throwing in the hat, you lose that card. So it's kind of like a little bit of like a gamble, and you got to try to get in the hat. I don't know, just silly like that. That's kind of more just an idea. But I think more seriously, this game there needs to be a tentpole event in this game. The biggest happenings in Madden is the launch, Christmas, and the Super Bowl. I think EA should aim for some huge update every year the Monday after the conference championship game to coincide with the hype around the biggest game of the year. You need something to get people back onto the video game blogs and not just the standard Madden predicting the Super Bowl type stuff we get every year. As to what that tentpole event is, that's on you, but I've provided the idea of a tavern ball type game mode where you vary the rules each week. Moving on, I would institute a weekly schedule highlighting each mode. This is directly stolen from Tuesday night drafts last year. For example, Monday for MUT squads bonuses to coins, like a double reward day or something like that, to draw people into that mode. Tuesdays are team of the week, so kind of a big content drop already, and that's probably enough. Wednesday should be salary cap bonuses, similar to MUT squads Monday. Thursday, we can have something similar to Tuesday night drafts again. but the drafts in 18 are already kind of stacked with high overalls. So do a half-price draft day or something. This should be the day each week that you should update draft champions. I think Thursday. I mean, you could change it up to other days if you want to update other days, but I think Thursday would be the draft champion day. Friday to Sunday is the weekend league already, so the focus is already on head-to-head, and that can be fine. We'll just keep that as is. I think Play a Friend does need a coin reward, maybe like 2,000 coin reward for each game played with a limit of twice a day. Just some incentive for us to play our friends online, because currently there is none except for fun. Pack animations, I think, need to improve for such a central part of the game. They have such little payoff even if you pull a stud. FIFA has walkouts. I've suggested in the past you have real-life highlights of players when you pull an absolute beast like Sean Taylor destroying the punter when you get him for his Mutt Master. And I think they have the technology in mobile, and they may have just added it to regular consoles, so we'll see if that is actually something going forward. That'd be kind of cool. It's something I've asked for a little bit. Also, more coaches to provide boosts for specific positions. I think there should be a ton of items in the game to help boost your team. You should be able to customize everything, in my opinion. Like, say you get a long cleats from Nike. You then get plus block shed but lowered agility. Now, I'm not sold on lowering stats, but maybe a mix would be good. Like, some things just boost, some boost with a downside if they boost higher on some things. Anyways, you can imagine all the possibilities. As for customization of the uniform in general, I only want it if it affects stats, but I know others just like to have those customizable uniforms in and of themselves. I think chemistry needs a big improvement in 18. For example, chem boosts to guys for the colleges they went to or the states they were born in. But I know they said they don't want them chem boosts to affect competitive Madden too much, which I think is a terrible idea for many reasons, but we won't get into that right now. University jerseys, I think, are heavily wanted in Mutt. You got it for long shot this year, but I think you should get it for Mutt next year and get as many universities as you can. I still think a Tavern Brawl that we talked about earlier type of mode where developers change the rules on a weekly basis would be cool. Like 1 week's the 7-on-7 that we saw in Longshot. The next is maybe Pauper mode, but that could be a weekend thing where you can only use silvers. Next is low gravity or no running the ball or no passing the ball another couple weeks. Next is gameplay sped up 50%. Maybe wide receivers at all positions, vision cone, or the other power-ups, from the past, like those other like Madden 08 type stuff. College overtime rules, see who can score and win on that one. Basically a permanent mode, kind of like Most Feared and Raging, but different things each week. Make it casual, so 2-minute quarters with pack rewards for the first game one or something. More for the fun than the rewards after that first game. Can be with pre-built teams or one that you need to assemble on our own. For example, rebuilding teams and squad builders are pretty big on YouTube. How about some sort of themed squad week, like an all-Texas Longhorns against an all-time Oregon Ducks? Or maybe a pick-your-college week so you can get the all-times against each other for this mode. How about a gotta-catch-them-all type of set? Moving on. Collect every core card in the game and you get some sort of insane card like the first 99 overall card. I don't know if that set should come out until January or so, though since some core elites is still pretty pricey and a 99 at some positions right now would pretty much break the game. You can do something similar for silvers and golds, but that's very close to the gold and silver masters of previous years, which I did really like. How about being able to set your coach adjustments outside of the game in Mutt? It's a minor quality of life fix, but being able to set kickoff and kickoff return would be nice also, along with other suggestions for specific formations so you don't have to do it at the start of every game. Again, kind of a minor but quality of life thing. I also think there should be a practice mode with the Mutt team. That would be nice. It would be kind of cool to import a friend's Mutt team to practice against too. Rent-a-players were nice. Now, I'm not sure if the community would accept them as seeing how much we hate limited use cards, so probably not the best to poke the bear with the rent-a-players, but I think overall it'd be pretty neat. Talking about the bear, it's weird how angry so many people are right now. Like, not just dissatisfied, but downright angry at the game that they can easily discard. Glad I'm really not a Madden dev right now, but hopefully this video is helping you out a little bit. Moving forward, I heard you got a new economist at EA for the market this year. When I played EVE Online, their economists put out a quarterly report on the market. Something similar to that would be really neat to see from Mutt. Google it if you want to take a look at what some of them are and what stats he provided and what he talked about and whatnot. Next, allow local multiplayer for solo challenges. Like if you want to casually play the game with a friend on the same console, let us. Not sure really how high in the priority list this should be though, since it's more of a nice to have than a need to have type thing. You should show traits on cards and get us a detailed, accurate blog on them and the thresholds. 100%, this should be the top priority now. I probably should have mentioned earlier in the video. You should do something similar with the QB release times. Get us something. Deep, middle, and throw short should be an attribute, say, at a 60. Basically, how many 60ths of a second it takes to release the ball, since that's the frame rate of the game. make sure that the blog includes out of position penalties and how much stats go down when you take them out of position. Knowing the overall logarithm would be cool, and pack odds also nice to know, but I know it's a cold day and a hot place before we get those, so it is what it is on pack odds. Are you guys doing that no stat over 99 bullshit again this year? If so, you haven't communicated that to us as players yet. So if so, scrap that and go crazy with stats of the Super Bowl. And on that, make sure stats over 100 matter. Like, I don't want my 101 speed player to be the same as 99. By the way, where has Leon Sandcastle been? Why not do more fun things like that? I wasn't around when he was in the game, but people speak of him fondly. I don't know if that's just the nostalgia or not, but why not have him? Talk about nostalgia. Why not have the backyard football kids in the game? License with them. Give me some Pablo Sanchez action. I feel like power-up players could have been done a lot better. Like, there's no story or reason outside of an ability cam or in some +1s or +2s. We need a better connection to these players. Look at the YouTubers doing adventure story mode with these players and the power-ups. So instead of adding these guys just as sets to upgrade them, you should have made it like Pokemon, and if they got enough experience in your lineup, you could evolve them to their power-up form. Then if you wanted to sell them, just evolve it and list on the market. On that note, moving forward, you should probably put a deconstruction set into the game to unpower up the previously auctionable cards so people can recoup some sort of investment on those cards if they want to get rid of them and off the team. Next, could you put customizable banners in stadiums to show off how many Super Bowls we've won? How about the top 3 screen, you show some of the achievements like the aforementioned Super Bowl wins or top weekend league placement? To extend that further, how about something as you get into the game to show your opponent's top 3 plays on each side of the ball and play call frequency? Maybe their playbooks and other stats you can track for online head-to-head leaderboards. Also, how about some gold shoes? Give them to players that you've won 100 games with in your lineup. Some sort of achievement to give them some veteran status on you. Really build a story around them. You need to have some sort of swag that's locked behind a skill or achievement. Something to show off to others, to flex on the haters and the opponents. On that note, how about stadium upgrades through Muck Coins or some sort of level rewards? This might be better to start 19 with, but have everyone start with a high school field with 1 stand for fans. Then the more you achieve in-game, the more you can add on to it through unlocks and purchasable upgrades. These add-ons are what generate the daily login revenue that we get. So you go from 500 coins a day with the standard stadium to you'll get 10,000 coins a day with the maximum stadium. Something like that to replace the daily quick sell or to be like the minimum threshold of the daily quick sell. Finally, maybe not finally. Well, yeah, finally. Treasure Goblin unlocks. In Diablo, there are random enemy spawns that if you're able to kill the Treasure Goblin, you get much better loot than normal. Having a random head-to-head game or solo ahead of time spit out something that says, like, if you win this, you get 20,000 or 50,000 coins would be a pretty nice random hidden bonus. Maybe like coins and packs mixed together. I think the solo could be its own beast. Instead of like a regular solo, you have an option to do the Treasure Goblin solo. And if you don't want to do it, you just want to get through your solos, you can just deny it. But do that instead, maybe if you like the 20K in place of the one you queued up. If that's possible. I don't know, because I don't know if the technologies are there. But anyways, those are my suggestions for things to look at for MUT going forward. Let me know in the comments if you guys had any suggestions. Thanks for watching, call to action, and I'll see you tomorrow.